Booyakasha. Welcome, everyone, to the ROONS MIZZ Arsenal chat. I'm ROONS.
And I'm Miz.
And we come at you live every Thursday now to talk about all things Arsenal, the good, the bad. And last week I was fucking pissed. And now I'm feeling fucking great. Is this the most bipolar team in the world, Ms. Day?
It is. They are out of their mind with the difference of what teams we're seeing. It's unbelievable.
I mean, the Liverpool-Slavia game, those two games had me hating Arsenal.
Dude, I mean, last week, I was thinking that today could have gone really wrong based on last week's result. And that Liverpool game was atrocious. So I'm not sure,
And then we have a Sheffield United game, which, yeah, they're the worst team in the league, but we played great. We actually had believe it or not, a through ball played in from the center mid that resulted in a goal.
I mean, and today's the result that we always should have had. Like, it was,
and then today Today was great.
Yeah.
You really can't complain about a win like that.
No, I mean, I feel happy. We're in the semifinals against Villarreal coming next, and I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we have to win the tournament, and it's a two-legged affair. We're going to play Unai Emery, and good evening
strikes back. Well, I'm already thinking about next year in Champions League because last week I was saying, we're going to be relegated from the EPL, never play in Europe again. But this week has changed my mind. So
I agree. What's the difference today? What's the difference like today? Like what you saw? What was there that we didn't have in that first tie?
My only solution for why you can get 1 week of so cold and flat and another week so great is mentality. It's just flat out mentality. Today they were really faced. I don't know what Mikel Arteta told him in the locker room, but he very well could have told him, like, look, guys, if you guys lose today, you'll never see me again. You know what I mean? And
they might have, yeah.
And he probably makes it very comfortable for them. And if he leaves and they bring in someone like Simeone, for example, Simeone or Allegri or any of these other cats, the party's going to be over. You know what I mean? No more slumber party. Dad's going to come home and start kicking ass. And a lot of people have been riding around, laughing and giggling and smiling for the cameras, on Arsenal media. But another coach is not going to be as nice as Arteta. So maybe
not as understanding and not as like willing to let people grow and change. I think you're right. I think they're in a comfortable position in the team if you're like, hey, this guy like understands us and wants us to like grow and develop as players. And
there's a lot of players. I mean, how many coaches would play Xhaka every week? Which even I prefer him on the left.
He played defense in the left back. Like, he's a good backup there. He's way better at left back than he is in the midfield.
He doesn't get in the way. And if left back, all they do is defend and get the ball and pass it, that's not what you really need, because you need attacking outside defenders to really be a top team. But it's so much better to have that player there defending and just getting the ball and passing it than in the center of the fucking pitch where you need playmakers. You need.
Yeah, my only complaint about today was Ceballos is just not good enough. I mean, he didn't have a terrible game. I just hate the way he plays. He slows up the play, kind of gets in the way. He got in the way a couple different times today, and this seems to be lost out there a little bit. But I love that Emile Smith-Rowe came back to the team today and just balled.
Just ball, and that's what we're missing so badly, is a player who will go out there and just ball. This idea, it's gotten so much to the point in modern football today that, oh, you're a number 9. Number 9s do 2 things, this and that. That's all they do. That's all I want you to do. Oh, you're a holding midfielder. That's all you do. What happened to just going out there and fucking balling no matter what position you play at? So it means if you're on the left, if you're on the right, if you're in the middle, if you're defense, midfield, forward, when you get the ball, you fucking ball. You start, you dribble people, you pass, you get it back, you create shit. What happened to that? Finally, we have a player in Emile Smith-Rowe who just goes out there and fucking balls. You know? He's making the right pass. That pass to Pepe.
I was going to say that goal was so dirty. Like he made a lot of different movements at the top of the 18 to put himself in position to even play that ball, and then passed it through. And it's just Pepe's awareness of understanding where the goalie was to slide around a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's another example of Pepe knows how to play with ballers. Lacazette knows how to play with ballers. Aubameyang knows how to play with ballers. They are ballers themselves. But when you put fucking Xhaka, Ceballos, and El Neni, those players aren't ballers.
Yeah.
They can't play off of them. What do you think? What do you expect? Like, it's not an individual sport. You got to have people around you who can hook you up, and then you hook them up, and that's how it is. It's a team sport. But when your teammate fucking sucks,
and your boy Saka today with another, he is turning out to be just such a good player, like such a very, very good player. His run today to finish that just the goalkeeper didn't even move, stood still.
That was
he wrong-footed him all the way. Like he looked up and was like, I'm slotting there, and was like, boom, there it is.
No. And he needed it too, I think, because he was having a little bit of a dip in form, which is totally understandable because he's probably just tired as shit. But coming back and doing this reminds everyone, I'm a world-class player. Foden can do it. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Emile Smith-Rowe are the best players on the squad.
I agree. I think, and Laka again.
Laka is fucking picking it up. Laka and Pepe, people have been hating on him all season, you know.
Hey, Pepe's been playing well. Pepe's been good now.
I know. If you hate on Pepe, you need
a fan.
to check yourself.
I'm a fan. I think he's good. His movement is superb. He's trying to get in the right positions. He's fast. He's playing really. I think team performance-wise today, really, really well. Holding played well. Mari played well. Chambers was very good on the right, actually. Big boy.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, we're seeing Xhaka essentially neutralized, and Bellerin's not even getting any PT. And what's happening?
He's out.
We're playing
Bellerin's out. It's pretty apparent now that he's like leaving. He hasn't played 5 matches in the Premier League. He hasn't played in Europa League. He's been sidelined altogether.
Yep. And it's just a matter of like, why did it take 40, 50 games of the season to do that? You know?
Seriously. But the win against Sheffield was good the other day too. They did what they needed to do. I mean, we need to pick up points from all these remaining games that we have, and we have a really good run of games coming up. Like we have Fulham on Sunday, and we beat them 3-0 in the first game of the season. I expect us to beat them again.
Yeah, a 3-0 scoreline would be very, very good, very expected, very needed.
You could tell from the beginning today that their attitude seemed right. Their attitude seemed to they took the pitch. I mean, I know it's like a little thing, but like the whole kneeling before the game and the Slavia Prague players were like arm in arm, and Laka just stood 10 feet from him and kneeled, stared directly at him. He just looked like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
And like, and they did. They were out of the gates. I told Rachel, I was like, they need to score 1 goal within the first 15 minutes to really kill the tie off. And they did. It's what needed to happen today. They needed to bury them and really make a statement going forward.
They haven't lost at home all season. Sparta.
All season, yeah. Slavia.
And we smashed them 4-dick and just made it.
Improv, yeah.
And that's like when you score when you're supposed to, the game unfolds the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't it wasn't scrappy. It was never scrappy. It was never really in doubt. We could rest players at the end. You know, that it puts everything going in the right way, in the right formation. and finally we're taking our chances early. It's just frustrating because, today you can really look at that team and be like, okay, if we strengthen in one or two areas, we could be a legitimately scary, frightening team, But last week we were saying we need four defenders, three midfielders, and a four. You know what I mean? And I don't think. I mean, I can realize how back and forth I'm being, and I believe both sets. You know what I mean?
No, it's easy. It's easy to like not be in agreement with what's going on certain weeks, and other days like this Arsenal team today and Sunday's team is not the same team that played last week against Slavia, and is not the same team that played against Liverpool. It's there. We're getting a two-faced team a lot of the time. And I think even the pundits have a hard time. Like the pundits on the Golasso show are like, four of them 2 weeks ago were like, they're going to win the Europa League. And then 3 out of the 4 switched their vote to some other team. And now only one of them stuck with Arsenal. So like everybody thinks that about Arsenal right now. We don't know what we're getting.
Well, also, and this could be a fault of Arteta is, okay, can we just go with this 11 for the rest of the season? Like, surely, barring injuries, the team that played that game can start and play the rest of the season. We don't have that many more games where everyone is going to gas out and fucking completely die. If they get injured, they get injured. What can you do? But
totally.
Can we just play that team from now on? And then if someone gets tired,
with Odegaard swapped for Ceballos when he comes back.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, if and when, but even Ceballos, he's not my favorite. Maybe you could swap El Neni. He's one that's, interchangeable, because that's a position that we definitely need to strengthen in the summer. But everything else, like, stop changing the fucking formation. Stop changing the center backs. Stop changing the outside backs, because then the outside wingers have to adapt to a new person behind them every single week. It's just, like, it's
too much. It's too much rotation.
And like, there might be a better combination out there. Keeping Aubameyang out is, not ideal. Martinelli.
And I don't know when he's going to be better. He's in the hospital right now, recovering from malaria.
I know that's wild.
That's a shame. That's brutal. Hopefully he's okay. And
yeah, did he have COVID ever this season? I mean,
I don't think so.
He had the most this
season.
He's like, even if he doesn't play or if he comes off the bench, I think it'll be fine, because it's like this season fucking sucks for Aubameyang. He can't really get any rhythm or momentum. So Lacazette's in form right now. We should start.
Yeah, he's the main guy right now.
You got Emile Smith-Rowe. And one thing Martinelli said when he was done, he scored a goal. That was great to see against
finally.
Sheffield.
Yeah.
Shows that he can do it. But he was like, I'm dead tired, Like
he said he was tired. I saw that.
So maybe he can't go the full game, but he's great off the bench,
Yeah.
So just keep it that way so you can actually figure out what is what.
Balogun got an appearance today.
Yeah, he's signing a new contract too.
That's great. I mean, these are the things that need to be happening. A player that's highly rated like him, if he were to leave for free this summer, that just doesn't do us any good.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, because he's
and talk of Emile Smith-Rowe signing a new deal as well. That's probably coming.
Should happen. Yeah, I mean, with like Balogun, I mean, the way he destroys the U23s, it's like there's some players. It's like, it's U23, but I remember seeing Messi play in like the under-17 World Cup, and he scored like 2 or 3 goals. It's hard to look at someone playing in a certain competition and be like, oh, they're going to be the best player in the Premier League because, the levels are so different. But when you look at Balogun, like the ease with which he destroys the U23s is like, he's just going to figure out how to do that in the EPL.
He's just looks strong too, like strong, big guy. And I'm excited to see more of him.
Aubameyang in the next 2 years, it's, I don't, his contract isn't going to be extended past that. So
No.
we're gonna have to
And
rely
and
on
and,
him
and
messing
after
with
this year, after signing a new deal, they're probably like, damn it.
seriously. Just don't offer anyone 350 ever again.
No, it's just a terrible number for us.
They're
I mean,
both
and you look at like Lacazette. Like Lacazette has been straight balling. Like he plays well in most games that he plays in. Scores a goal at least. He's gotten a couple goals in 2 different games recently. I mean, penalty was clinical, and that finish today was sick.
Yeah. He's good. I mean, he's missed some crucial chances, and that's why he's drawn the ire of a lot of things. And it is frustrating because you wish that when things aren't really going right, when you finally get a clear-cut chance, that you take it, because then it just changes the whole scheme of things. But he is underrated, I think, underappreciated. He's what, 29?
Yeah, and he looks like a real leader though. Like when you look at him and he like after goals and after things, he's always like cheering people on. He looks like he's giving advice a lot of the time. Players say that he helps them a lot. Like Emile Smith-Rowe said that he's the main influence that's like helped bring him along. So like that's nice to see. I could see him staying at the club for that mere reason as a mature force.
What's his contract situation like?
It's done next summer.
So he has 1 more year. I mean, honestly, he's someone that you could see playing 1 more year and then just being like, okay, it's time to go. Yeah. Because then by then, Nketiah and Bally, hopefully, those players have to find some sort of place.
And Martinelli, there's 3 of them. We got 3 of them.
Yeah, there are players that need to play. And, then Aubameyang could be like the godfather who will come on, every once in a while and can still do something. But eventually we do need to move on from Aubameyang, Lacazette. It sucks to say that because before that pairing, the last time there was a good pairing in the front that was
like Van Persie, Adebayor.
Yeah. I mean, you have to go back that far. It's a
long time ago now.
They were the only people of the 2010s that were a legit strike partnership. I mean, Giroud and Walcott, no,
yeah. I mean, Olivier Giroud was good, but he was a lot solo. We didn't have like a devastating front 3 or front 2 for a really long time.
Yeah, and not 2 that played the way they can play, where they're just ballers. Look, Giroud is like that big guy, get the ball to him, and he can do some crazy shit and score, and often did, but he's not a person who gets the ball and will just start shaking bacon and, starting a movement. He's just a flat out big guy up top, no criticism against him, but we finally had some ballers at the center forward position. And it's almost time for that era to be over.
Totally. And I think we have a lot of youth and solid players coming through. I mean, you look at what we got going on right now. We got 3 different goal scorers today out of a 4-0. I mean, we seem to be doing that a lot, where we're getting multiple goal scorers. Saka scores frequently. Emile Smith-Rowe has goals in him. Odegaard has goals in him. Pepe has goals. I mean, they all can finish.
Yeah.
When they need to. Partey hasn't scored yet. No. At some point it's going to come, and then it's probably going to relieve some pressure from him. I think he needs to hit the net this season.
Yeah.
And if he does, I guarantee he's going to score some goals from here and there. He hasn't really had that confidence to shoot from deep yet. I think that this is first year,
Well, he needs a partner. I feel like
he does need a partner. Yeah.
The number 1 role that we need to fill is not the attacking center mid. It is the partner center mid.
Yeah. The partner CDM with them.
Yeah. I mean, maybe defensive, maybe not. Maybe a just an old school center midfielder who can like a box to box, I guess is what they
Yeah.
call it now. You know,
Yeah.
whatever Ceballos, Xhaka, and El Neni are, they could all leave and that'd be fine. And we need to replace them with one, you know, as many as we can get that are actually legit. You know, like ballers. We need someone on Partey's level next to him. Just flat.
Because a lot of the time he's either making really good movements and then he goes to give the ball away and gives the ball to another player and they're not in the right position.
Yeah, or they just don't help him out. You know, when someone doesn't ball, it's like they're not carrying their end of the weight. You know, it just makes everyone else's job harder.
Well, and that's like you're totally right. Like if you look at, I watched the Man City game yesterday. You look at who they have throughout the midfield. They have De Bruyne, Bernardo,
Gundogan,
and Foden. They got all four of those dudes on the field at the same time.
Yeah, and all those dudes are carrying their weight. All of them are like, when they get the ball, the other team is like, we can't relax.
No, they're devastating. We need to get to that level.
Yeah, on Xhaka's best game, you pass it to him. The other team gets to catch their breath a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, Ceballos gets the ball. The other team is like, okay, I can defend against this guy. You know, it gives them a little bit of psychological confidence when these players get the ball. You know, and in teams like Bayern Munich, City, you know, the top teams, there's no rest. Someone has the ball, you're like, oh shit, that person can hurt us, that person can hurt us, that person can hurt us. And we just need to fill the gaps where we have players on the field, on the 11, who can't hurt anybody. Ceballos cannot hurt anybody. Cannot hurt.
No,
anybody.
he's just not. It's just not good enough. Like in general, we just need more quality. I think his loan deal won't get extended. I'm pretty confident of that. I think he'll leave Real Madrid as well.
They'll sell
I think Odegaard is only in play if we do well in this and try to get in Champions League. If we're not in Europe, I don't expect us to get Martin Odegaard.
No. That would be acknowledging a decent step down from his status as Wonderkid, you know?
100%. You wouldn't be able to see that. Like if we don't win the Europa League, we might as well forget about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, there's still a lot to do.
There is. What do you think? I know that you said you're worried about Villarreal, and I agree. Do you think it's a winnable tie in general? Do you think that we can win the whole thing? We got Villarreal and probably Man United at the end.
I don't know so much about Villarreal. I think we can beat them, but I think it'll be tough. It's hard to tell what will happen. But I do think we can beat Man U in the final.
Like, I think that we can beat Man United. I for sure think that we can beat United in the final.
Yeah, like I know we can do it. If we can, I think Villarreal will be harder than.
I'm actually still stunned that they're in second place and that they're where they're at right now. I know that we mentioned last week that they are good. I don't see it though. Like,
well, their record is good. They're on the same number of losses as City, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
but they have like 5 less draws or something, or 5 more.
They've only lost 4 times in the league. They just figure out a way of getting past teams. But when they played us, they didn't look like they could hurt us at all. You know what I mean?
No, they didn't. They didn't look dangerous. I think that we can beat them. And in a final, they're already going to be we will not. If that stage, we have everything to play for.
Yeah, that would be, oh man, what a storyline, what an intense season that would be if we beat Man U in the final and go to Champions League. Like, it's crazy where we stand right now. We're looking at no Europe and maybe years of obscurity.
Yeah, or Champions League.
Or Champions League with a trophy, 3 trophies for Arteta in 2 years.
I think that, to be honest, if it wasn't Arteta, I would say that we don't really have a chance. But like, he did he did win 2 trophies last summer. This team knows how to win a final. He knows how to win a final.
It's true. And not against crappy competition either.
No.
I mean, Chelsea beating City on the way there, beating Chelsea, you know.
And our first leg against Villarreal is away.
Yeah.
That's always the harder of the two. You got to score. You got to score away. You got to score like 1 or 2 just merely to give yourself the comfort in the second leg.
Yeah. I know we can beat Villarreal. They're a tough Spanish team. Who pretty much does everything well. And their work rate is always going to be high.
Yeah.
But you can beat those teams with more talent, more firepower.
And we have to beat them. We have to beat them.
Yeah, it's a final. Every game is a final from now on. And we can win 3 finals in a row, I think.
We have a lot of winnable games. Our run of games right now is we play Fulham on Sunday. Friday we play Everton, which is good that we play Everton on a Friday. Then our next game is the Thursday after for Europa League. That's a decent break there. And then after that we got Newcastle, then Villarreal, West Brom, Chelsea, Palace, Brighton.
Could have a lot worse of a stretch.
No, I mean, 3 of the teams are still the bottom part of the table.
Yeah, it's so scary to try to think about the future with Arsenal, because you look at that and you're like, there's a clear path to the Champions League still open to us.
And there's still a clear path, a little bit of a path to Europa League in the league. If they win their remaining games, they most likely give themselves a decent chance of finishing in the top 6. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and we got to hope some results go our way. But that has been the league this year. We've given up enough losses to not lose again. They got to do everything they can to win every game that they have left.
I mean, this last 2 games is like, okay, if we have another we've had so many peaks and valleys, but if we end on a peak, that's what we need to do. It's just we've been burned before,
We have
burned before. And the thing though is, it was so baffling to me when we played Chelsea in the Europa League final and just came to play like it was the League Cup second round. Like that was such a pathetic display for a final with that much importance attached to it.
Was it Unai Emery, the coach?
Yeah. And that was really, I think that's what fucked Emery, was because it was like, what was wrong with you there?
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be the Europa League master, right? Isn't that what they say? He's like
3 times with Sevilla. Like, he knows how to win finals. He knows how to win trophies. And like, that was basically the signal that everyone got, was like, they don't give a fuck about Unai Emery. Now, whether that's true or not or what, but that was such a baffling display that I think the players who are part of that will have learned something. And I think Arteta will be looking at it as like, this is not a game. This is not just any old game. You know what I mean? You have to go out there and be willing to suffer to win. I hope so. It wouldn't be time for some of Arteta's baffling fucking decisions. That's all I can say.
No, totally. I mean, I don't think Unai Emery. I didn't really like him as our manager, and I think that Arsenal is going to try to get the best of him coming for them. Like they're going to be fired up after today, especially. We're in the semifinals now. We're 3 games away from winning it.
It's too close. And the teams left. Who does Man U play? Ajax?
Roma.
Oh, Roma got past Ajax.
That's a tough game. Roma's not bad.
That's a tougher game for them, I think, because they match up in a similar way. Like Villarreal matches up with us, more closely, and for them, they match up in a way that Like I think Man U would get past Villarreal pretty easily. But Roma is a
Yeah,
different story because I think Roma's going to just try to punk them, and they don't like when teams do that. You know?
what if? I don't mind who it is. Roma. I mean, Man United in the final would be fun to play against, just because that's our rival.
What a storyline that would be.
Yeah, yeah,
And because we played them twice, beat them, tied them, but like no one played well either game, you know? And
and
so
a final.
that'd be the game to come out and really assert yourself and just beat Man United to go to Champions League, to then be able to get players like Odegaard. And, hopefully we're still in it for Emi Buendia from Norwich. Because I went and watched that game.
Sick.
Yeah, that they won 7-0. He is a baller, dude. He is that player that we need to fill in that gap. And that's a player that's gettable. It's not some chasing Awar who's going to be 70, 80, 90.
Yeah, and his price is rising right now.
Awar?
Yeah.
Really? I've been checking.
Just in general though, right? Wouldn't it be rising?
It's hard to say. I've been checking his stats. He hasn't done shit all season. No one's talking about it. Yeah. So hard to say.
Sometimes that happens after a player's like heavily linked with a move away, and then like that season, like it might be a filler season for him to stay there now, and like he's gonna move on no matter what, whether that's like Real or something. He just didn't perform.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who we're linked with and who we end up actually.
Buendia would be nice.
That one I would look to try to wrap that one up as soon as possible.
Yeah. I think we're definitely in the market for a right back.
Yeah.
They said 2. So
I mean, we need to. Well, yeah, we need probably 2 because we need someone behind him. But between Cedric and Chambers, if neither one of those leaves, which Cedric's not going to leave, Chambers might.
Chambers not. You think Chambers will leave?
I mean, he seems expendable. They just gave Cedric a 4-year deal, so that's why I feel like he's not going to leave.
Yeah. And Mari's on like a 3 or 4 year deal.
I'm not sure, but we just signed him last year, so
he's pretty good. Like
they need to sort out the final pairing, and I feel like
Gabriel's our best center back, I think.
And because him and Gabriel are both left-footed, it's like, well, I guess they can't play because the lefty and it's just like, I don't know how much weight there is to that actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely need a left back too, because Tierney is injury prone. We know that.
And David Luiz is out for the season now. Really? And his knee, he had like a knee surgery, and he's it was like a minor little thing, but he's definitely going to be moving on after this summer. From what I understand, his contract's done this summer.
Really?
Why would they extend it?
No, there's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, probably more meaningful downs than ups.
Well, it's like 10 games. Didn't we count? It was like 10 games that he had been red carded or like serious errors that resulted in goals.
Yeah, like 5 PK.
That's a lot of mistakes to make as a center back.
And for his age, it's like, just no, let him go. And then hopefully we can establish a legit center back pairing.
And today was a good result. They balled today. They played very, very well. They made Slavia Prague look very average. As compared to last week, Slavia Prague was like in the game all the way until the end.
We were very average.
Yeah.
It's just, we have it in us to be that way. And that's what's scary. You see a game like that and we start talking about, if you add a few players, then we could really hang with the best of the best. But also, we're capable of just being so flat that frightening. That's why I just want to see this team go out there and, like, if like, you guys are the ones, that's got to be something. There's got to be, like, if you never really know if you're gonna start, and then another person starts, and then another person starts, and that you're just like on a rotating, circle of formations, like, how are you gonna really get mentally prepared week in,
Right.
week out?
Yeah.
Like, how many players score and then end up on the bench? It's happened so many times that, you can't blame a player for being like, oh yeah, I guess I'm up today. Okay, it's my turn. Like, oh well, I wasn't expecting that, so I have to adjust to that. And if you just have a team, you guys are the ones. You want to be there. You have to fucking beat them out.
Yeah.
Like, if you play a bad game and then you get subbed, another person comes in and fucking balls, then they have swooped your spot. Like the old school way of earning your spot. But
there was like a definitive position before
all the time. That doesn't work like that.
No. And I'm hoping that next season will be a little different. Maybe it's a tired thing or whatever the reason is, or resources. I think we're going to do much better with a full preseason this summer, a full like actual summer under their belt. A rest is going to do them a lot of benefit. I think if we know we're going into Champions League and we have the resources to make the team better, there'll be actually a lot to look forward to. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling excited for the semifinal at this point.
I'm just hesitant because I feel like if you went back and watched our episodes week by week, it would be like
we say that all
we're bipolar. And every time we've been excited this season, from the very
they let us down.
Excited. They've let us down big time. So
superstition wise, maybe we should just be worried.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still pretty worried.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an easy, it's not an easy feat.
No, they're like one of those teams that's like, you feel like you should beat them, but they never give you that sense that it's going to be easy. They're not a pushover, mainly because their work rate is always high. They give Real Madrid a run for their money. Real has to figure out a way to beat them when they play them. So if Real's not just blowing them off the field with pure talent, and that's Real, who is a far more talented team than us.
Yeah.
Position by position. That's how it's
I'll have to watch some highlights of them because I want to know about them a little bit. I haven't really watched as much this year of La Liga.
Let's see where they're at.
Table wise?
Yeah. They're 7th. 20 points off Madrid. 21 points off. So very Unai Emery-esque at Arsenal. They're 3-2 in their last 5. They have a positive goal differential of 10. 11 wins, 13 draws, 6 losses. Very Unai Emery.
Okay. Yeah, yep.
That dude has to have the most draws in 2 seasons of any other manager in the world.
Dude, that's all Arsenal was doing under him was drawing.
14 last season or something.
Yeah, it was like crazy. It was all like it was like 0-0 or 1-1 in every game.
Let's see. They've scored 43 goals, given up 30. I mean, honestly, looking at that, if we don't smash them, that's on us. We should beat them both times.
Definitely. I mean, I think that we're going to go out guns blazing. I hope. I mean, they got a little. We scored 7 goals in 2 games now, and haven't been scored on in 2 games. It's like the first time in a while. So they're going to be growing in confidence and in stature going towards this. You get into the semifinals of a tournament like this, does a lot for their morale.
Totally, and it seems like maybe Saka is kind of re-energized. If Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe are re-energized and we get a healthy Odegaard back and no more goddamn injuries, I tip us to win it.
I mean, Emil Smith-Rowe is quickly becoming just one of my favorite players in general. I really like his movement in general. I think he's so silky and clinical, and like his work rate. And he did this thing on the edge of the end line today. The ball was like going out of bounds, and he like stopped the ball, like dipped, rolled around, and just like played the ball back so cleanly. It was like God. Like we've been missing a player like his stature.
Seriously, and at 20 years old, it's
only going to get better.
Yeah, man, it's so tempting because like you just imagine like what if Balogun reaches like what if a couple more players from the academy turn out the way Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe have.
We only need like one or two more, and they're going to just be crazy good.
I mean, if Nketiah and Balogun are able to establish themselves like that, that'll give us so much room because we hadn't bought them, so we'll have money to like just pick one player here and there in the windows.
Yeah.
To just be solid as shit.
That's like City's plan. I mean, look at what City did. They have Foden now through the ranks, and a player just like Foden, look at what he adds to that team.
I think Guardiola is finally starting to see what Foden is capable of, because the dude, he's never played bad for City, and then he'll be one who will score a goal in Champions League and then sit the next game.
Yeah.
They're scary. They're a scary team.
They are very good. They are very, very good. Dude, Dortmund was good. And they made Dortmund look average in the second part of that game yesterday. They were just like moving the ball around. They're everywhere. The way that they move is so confusing. The team is like sharks. And they're just like, it's crazy how quick they are too.
And there's no pockets of space to exploit against them.
No.
Like you have to go on a perfect run, not make any mistakes, and score to score a goal against them.
Like Leeds did at the weekend. Scalped them at the end.
Man, I mean, it's crazy when you look at Bielsa or Arteta. It shows you just where Arteta could be at. It's another fault against him, I think, because and another reason why it's so frustrating when we lose the way we lose is because you're looking at a team like Leeds. It's like, yeah, they lose, but then they're able to go out there and take it to City and actually win, even with a man down. That shows some intent. It's not all the way there yet. It's risky, and often the risk doesn't work. Yes, you can make those complaints, but they're going after it. It feels like if we had the attitude of Leeds, we would be where Man United are at right now.
For sure.
How many games have we pissed away by just playing so shit and so flat? That it's just if we just had that
five more. We have a few games in there where we lost where we shouldn't have lost games. 4 or 5 more results. We're in a different table completely.
Yeah. 12 points. It's a different story. Season's a different story.
So we got Fulham on Sunday, early, 5:30 a.m. on the Pacific time.
Sunday?
I'll definitely get up and Sunday. Yeah, I'll definitely get up and watch it. What do you think? They're at the bottom of the table still. They are.
They 17th?
18th. On 26 points, 32 games played. They've lost 16 games. They're a loss for them almost pretty much guarantees that they're going to be relegated. So they got everything to play for because Newcastle's on 32 points and they're in 17th, 6-point difference for them with Newcastle a game in hand. So
and Newcastle's got Joe Willock.
Yeah, and he can't play against us when we play him.
Really?
Yeah, you can't play against your parent club.
Are you sure?
Yep, 100% positive.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we should beat Fulham.
we should beat Fulham.
We should beat them 3-0. It should be a game just like the beginning of the season. It should be just like Sheffield. They're not a completely useless team. If we play shitty, it's within the realm of possibility that they can beat us. But we got to go out there and just be clinical and beat them.
Totally.
Just keep the train moving. Beat them. These teams that we're playing that are beneath us in the table need to be dispatched.
All of them. I mean, we got West Brom again. We beat West Brom very clinically.
That was one of the best games
last time. Yeah. So we have a couple wins left for sure. We play Everton. I think we can win that game too.
They're a team that looks to be crapping out towards the end. You know, Tottenham is frighteningly a shambles right now.
Oh my God. They might, and he looks like he lost the plot altogether. He looks like he's leaving in the summer.
He looks like he wants to. I mean, he's basically saying, like, I think the player's stuck.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. And he said this, and that's what I hate about Mourinho, because he always does this. He's like, don't blame me. The players aren't good enough.
Oh, yeah. So he takes no responsibility for his team at all.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's not my fault. You know, the players aren't good enough. They're terrible. It's like, well, first, what are the players thinking when they see that?
Of course, it's not going to be going to be good for them. I think that's a positive right now. We're at 9th place right now, 31 games played, 45 points. Everton's above us on 48 points at 30 games played. Tottenham is 31 games played on 49 points. So if we beat Everton and Tottenham continue to struggle and Everton continue to plunder, that puts us up to like 6th, 5th, 7th, 6th. Liverpool's close. Where it's going to be tight. It's going to be so tight towards the end. We really have to get like 3 more wins to even remotely consider being a part of that discussion.
I don't know if that's going to happen, to be honest, but because we need West Ham, I think they'll at least be in 5th. And then it'll be
they're not going to falter at this point.
And between Chelsea and Liverpool, I don't think we're going to leapfrog one of them. It'll be hard enough to leapfrog Tottenham and Everton.
And the Europa League spots are 5th and 6th, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And I mean, maybe even 6 is not enough. I don't know if you go to the lowest stage of qualifying at 6th place.
I think you probably start in the beginning.
Yeah. So
maybe not the lowest, but the first tier of qualification or something. You probably have to play the decider, like when you're in 4th.
Yeah.
Remember how we had to do that when we were in 4th? A number of years we had that first tie before the group stage.
Yeah.
That was often hard.
Yeah.
I remember one year I was in Canada and I watched it, and we had to play Celtic to get through. And it was tough. We barely made it through the tie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what do you think? You think we can win the Europa League though?
Can we? Yes. Will we? I won't say yes or no.
You putting money on it at a casino?
No. I just feel I've been made to feel so stupid so many times this season by getting excited when you see a great performance and seeing what everyone is capable of doing, which you know they are, only to come back the next game and play like shit and go on like a run of 3 or 4 terrible games. We have no more terrible runs in us. This has to be the last 2 games, the beginning of a 10-match unbeaten run.
It does. It needs to be. Yeah.
We need to beat Chelsea. We need to beat Man U in the final. We need to beat Villarreal in the semifinal. We need to beat Newcastle and Brighton. And
West Brom, everyone else, Everton.
Everyone we play, we need to beat them. We can, we should, will we? You never know.
They got it in them. They got it like today. I mean, today and the weekend. Sheffield, I didn't think was terrible on Sunday. To be honest, they were in the game at certain points. Arsenal should always win that game, but it wasn't by any means just like the West Brom game or the Fulham game.
Yeah, they're not pitiful, you know.
No.
Still, the way we played was good. And the goals we scored were good, and we need to keep that up. Well, it feels like Lacazette is like, I feel like I can score now. Like, I feel like, give me the ball, I'm going to score. But I'm not making any promises.
Yeah, that second goal he scored today was really nice.
Yeah,
it was just smart from him.
Yeah, and the goal from Partey was, I mean, finally, just to play it around, have someone run on a breakaway, hit the far post. Like,
yeah,
that works against any team. That needs to be something in every team's playbook to do that.
Totally, and we got the speed. We got the speed to play with. We got a lot of fast players.
Aubameyang and you have Lacazette, and we just don't do that. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to do that with Aubameyang way on the fucking left. You know what I mean? So,
I hope that he sorts out whatever is going on with him in general, and comes back like just in a better headspace, a better form. I mean, even for his own sake, he's operating below par right now, and you know he must feel that.
Yeah, because he's a swag player. So when you don't read the swag, it feels like shit. And he's still great. He's this year has been shitty. It just sucks.
Totally.
But he could bounce back, and he could still contribute this year, provided he can play again. I don't know what the treatment for malaria even consists of.
I tried to look it up today, and it was just a lot of different things. There was like no definitive like take this. It's like treatments that go on. I don't know. I don't think there's a cure. I think
virus. So you just
the virus,
treat symptoms until your body kicks it, and that's gonna. Luckily,
he was in the hospital.
In a way, it at least answers the question of what do we do with Lacazette and Aubameyang. You know what I mean? It's
right now,
it has to be this way, but we've needed a definitive answer. You need definitive answers in a team, or else people don't know where they stand. They don't know the context, and the context has been so murky and watery and shaky all season, which is why our form is that way. So hopefully that answers the question. Just let Lacazette do his thing. If Aubameyang can come back, then have him be a super sub or something like that, so he can play down the middle. And hopefully we can build on this team that we have right here.
Totally. And next Thursday, we should be back and chatting about, we'll have some news to talk about. We got Fulham on Sunday.
When is the semi?
Not next week, the week after. So we have a week off. So we have Sunday game against Fulham, and then we have a Friday game next Friday against Everton. And then after that, our game is Thursday against Villarreal in Spain.
And then the return leg is
the week after that.
And then the final
is the end of May. It's after the league finishes. It's the very end of May.
That's that gap right there fucked us last time in Baku, because that's enough time for you to go on a little peak, and then it's like, well, you start on the downturn, but then you got to play a final.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. It's like a month. It's almost a month.
And you just forget about that competition. You have this final to play in a month from now. Like, dude, I've been waiting.
It's the last game of the season too. It's like they're thinking about vacation a little bit.
Ugh, that's a little worrying. And like the League Cup final between Tottenham and Man City, like that's
late this year.
It's like July 31st or something, right?
Is it?
No, I don't. That's what it feels like, because
I think it's soon. let's see, because I thought it was coming up in April. Yeah. Semifinal. No, it's not this one. Okay. It's coming up though soon for them.
Yeah. Well,
we'll be back next week though to
see.
discuss all of it.
Yep. And we'll have Fulham in between. So hopefully we can just keep the ball rolling.
We need to win that game. It's a must-win game again.
I say Willian gets 4 assists this time instead of 3.
I hope that he's not even in the fold.
Yeah. I mean, no one was asking, well, where's Willian today? You know, like he's not even like the 3rd or 4th person you think. Like I forget that he's on the team.
I think that he could easily leave this summer and no one would even notice.
Yeah, just go back to Brazil or something. Let's say this was a mistake. Because players that can't play because we can't figure out a place to put them. And then all of a sudden William pops up and it's like, no.
For sure.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Well, join us next week.
And
I'll be back.
Yeah. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Oh God. It's gonna be nail biter at the end of this. It's like if we don't pull this off, we're out of Europe next year.
We just have a shit game against Villarreal and don't make it. It's like,
yeah, we're just gonna lose, and who knows who we might lose in the mix of that, player wise.
The future of Arsenal hangs in the balance.
It does. Totally.
We have 7 weeks of nail biting. Like in 8 weeks, we'll know on what side of it we're on. But until those 8 weeks are over, right now, the future of the club basically is in the balance.
That's scary.
Fucked up.
That's scary.
Yeah. We'll hope for the best.
Join us next week.
Alrighty.
All right. Ciao, Bola.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Cool. So then I think it's